Well, as expected, the announcement on charging returning Kiwis for quarantine is a total cop-out. It is nothing more than tokenism, and it's just designed really to get a good headline, but actually do very little. The plan announced today is that no one flying into the country actually gets charged for their quarantine unless they are one of two things, right? Living here in New Zealand and then going overseas for business or work, coming back, or living overseas and heading to New Zealand for a short break here, fewer than 90 days. What's the point? The vast majority of people in quarantine will still get it for free, paid for by you and I. I mean, we are expecting 168,000 people through those quarantine facilities every year. Of them, we're going to charge as few as 710 people for their quarantine. On the high side, maybe the government thinks it might charge 2,800 for quarantine. Either way, the numbers are piddly. It's somewhere between 0.4% and 1.7% of people going through quarantine who are going to end up paying. How is that anything other than tokenism? And by the way, don't expect all of them who should pay to actually end up paying. I mean, there are easy and obvious ways for them to get around the system. For example, the plan to charge anyone who is here fewer than 90 days. Well, what's stopping them from buying a one-way ticket to New Zealand, telling authorities they're moving here for good, enjoying a wedding in Hawke's Bay and a couple of weeks holiday back home, and then buying a one-way ticket right back to London? Literally nothing is stopping that. Minister Megan Woods says she's still working out how to avoid that from happening. Now, I don't buy this excuse also about the legality of charging being a problem. This is being sheeted home by the government to the Bill of Rights. New laws are inconsistent with the Bill of Rights Act all of the time. I mean, 2 laws this year were 4 laws in 2018, 3 in 2017, 3 in 2016, and the list just goes on. Adhering to the Bill of Rights Act is not quite the holy grail the government's making it out to be. This just feels like a cynical cop-out by every single one of those parties in government, but especially by Labor and the Greens. It's really hard to see this as anything but a competition between the two of them for the traditionally left-leaning offshore voters. The fact is, someone has to pay a bill that is going to be $250 million by the end of this year. Either you and I pay, or those people actually staying in the hotels pay. This plan announced today makes it very clear you and I are footing their bill.